Hello everyone, welcome to mindovermania, where we keep your head above the chaos. My name is Christian, and today we are recording another Pick a Card reading, where you get to choose your own intuitively channeled message. Today's topic is going to be, what are their secret hidden thoughts and feelings about you? This could be romantic, this could be a friendship, this could be a coworker. I'm leaving these pretty general, so just use your intuition on which pile may resonate for you. We have 4 piles to select from today. In order to select your pile, put both feet firmly on the ground, take a deep breath, close your eyes, visualize the person on your mind, and then whenever you open your eyes, whichever you're drawn to first is more than likely your pile, or if you just feel intuitively drawn towards something. Check out the timestamps below to go ahead and find your pile. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Hello everyone, you have chosen pile number 1, and these are going to be your messages on this person's hidden thoughts and feelings towards you. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a bit of a vibe check to make sure that this is your pile, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the thoughts and feelings. When I was pulling your cards, I didn't feel any particular energy towards a certain direction, so let's go ahead and see what the cards say. Okay, and nope. Okay, so these are all going to be in reverse. You got the Ace of Wands in reverse, the 10 of Swords in reverse, and the 2 of Wands in reverse. So this is telling me there was some kind of an ending between you two. I don't know. I feel like you took charge of a situation. With the Ace of Wands in reverse, normally that talks about like blocked creativity, but for me this feels like the spark between your relationship fizzled out. So this could be a friendship or a partnership of some kind. It definitely feels like inspiration got blocked as a result of this, or maybe this person was a drain on your energy. With the 10 of Swords, this normally talks about completion, but at what cost? You know, it's like a difficult situation is over. However, I feel like there's just been this rumination either on your side or both of this person's side over how things ended, and it doesn't feel like things are fully complete or settled. You know, maybe there was something that was left unspoken between the two of you, or there's just somebody that's floating around in the background. Maybe this person's watching social media or getting a little bit of stalker vibes. But with the 2 of Wands, though, I feel like there's a bit of traveling mentally to try to understand what's going on between the two of you. I'm also feeling maybe someone is physically at a distance now, maybe somebody moved away, or there's just some kind of obstacle that came between the two of you. So I could definitely feel like if this was going to be long distance or someone just wasn't very consistent, it feels very much an energy of somebody was not meeting you, pile number 1, where you're at. Yeah, or somebody really wasn't showing you the love, or wasn't really showing you action towards your connection, regardless of what's going on. Yeah, and somebody might like herbal tea, so maybe you are going on a health journey right now, maybe you're looking for cozy comfort at this time, or maybe there's just something about like you want peace in your relationships, you want healing, and this connection definitely doesn't feel like it feels like it was no longer suiting you. So you are more than likely the one that walked away, or this person did, but regardless, I feel like you're sitting in a position where you're just like, I just want to know the tea on this person, but regardless, I don't see you really making any move towards this person anytime soon. So without further ado, as I sip my tea, let's go ahead and see what is this person's thoughts and feelings and emotions towards you. I do feel off the bat emotional kind of comes up, but like this person didn't show it to you while you were in a connection or in contact with each other. If you do try talking to this person regularly, they will not show their truth. Okay, this person's definitely close-lipped about this, tight-lipped about how you made them feel, and something about their frequency too. I just think they're in a negative way about you in general. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out the cards. We have, what do you want? We got, I'm not sure what I feel anymore. Yeah, there's definitely an energy of confusion going on with this other person, but they're blaming you. I love you more than tongue can tell. Yeah, see? Not a lot of talking going on here. And we have, I'm trying to get out of my karmic situation, but it's complicated. Yeah, so I don't know if this person has other obligations, and those obligations definitely tanked your relationship. I feel like this person did not prioritize your connection at all, and they sort of thought you were gung ho and along for the ride. So maybe you made a clean cut or you were very clear about it, but this felt disastrous to this other person. However, I do get the vibe that they are over exaggerating and just trying to put blame on you in your connection rather than taking accountability. With the what do you want, I feel like this person was constantly behind closed doors being like, this person's showing hot and cold energy, or this person isn't communicating their needs and wants. Like, I don't know what they actually feel towards me, or I feel like they're not telling the truth, when really it's a projection from this person and their own insecurities. I'm not sure what I feel anymore. I feel like this person definitely blames you for the situation, regardless of whose actual fault it is or was. Whatever came between the two of you, they're just not very sure how they think or feel. I mean, we have some emotions here that we're going to get into, but off the bat, I feel like they definitely try to stay in their head and try to think through their emotions, and it's causing them to kind of spin out a little bit. I don't know if maybe after you left or broke things off with them, they went and did something crazy, like shaved out their hair or like something with their head. I don't know. But I definitely see them taking off running in the opposite direction just to avoid ever seeing you. So don't anticipate this person reaching out or contacting you. They may have blocked you in return to get some peace of mind and stability. I love you more than tongue can tell. Yeah, I feel like there were just a lot of unspoken emotions between you two. There's an energy of, with tongue, like they get tongue tied when they're speaking their truth and thoughts and feelings. So even if they had needs in this connection, they weren't speaking up about it. And you probably had no idea they had needs that weren't getting met. But again, I think there was this unspoken energy between the two of you that they were reading you the wrong way. And maybe you read this situation in a certain kind of way and this person did not like that, but instead of compromising, they chose to be stubborn about it and just accept, like, it feels like they are in the energy and headspace that you are supposed to accept them no matter what. That, you know, if you're going to be a ride or die, you can just take whatever kind of treatment. And that's not the energy you're in, you know, because I feel like you are already spending time healing and moving on while this person's still stuck in the what did I even do wrong? Even if you said it, you know, I feel like this person, they might be a little narcissistic where they just don't take your words at face value. And so they have to overanalyze everything to be like, well, what were they actually trying to say when they said this and this? You know, instead of just accepting that, hey, this behavior hurt me, you know? They're trying to spin it in a way that they can regain favor from them, both from themselves and then the people around them, for ruining this, as they feel also too that you're claiming that they ruined the relationship, and so they're already on the defensive trying to like backpedal on how they can explain things to other people and try to also expose you as the liar even though you weren't. I'm trying to get out of my karmic situation, but it's complicated. Yeah, I just feel like there's this energy of like they're constantly staying stagnant and refusing to learn the lessons. Like, again, like as they continue to choose to operate with this mentality of like, I gotta get a one-up on this person, or I have to be on the defensive or whatever, instead of just taking what you said at face value, even if they show other people the messages you sent, that would cause people to say, hey, that's kind of a red flag. If this person said this so clearly, then could you explain this? And then as this person tries to explain the situation, it's all going to come out, and then people are still going to be on your side. Just be a little bit careful because the devil's in the details. So I feel like this person will try to swing it against you, but I don't think it really matters because the connection's closed off. You know, if you were trying to get back into this person's graces, you might have a bit of a struggle getting back into their inner circle. However, I get the vibe that you're choosing peace and kindness over bad juju, and it's going to cause this person to spin out even more. Okay. Okay, so we've got situationships, traditional views, possible limiting beliefs, old-fashioned. Yeah, like I said, there is definitely a little bit of an entitled attitude that you're just supposed to sit there and take it, you know? That, oh, well, because we're traditional, our partnership, is gonna, I was about to say fizzle out when they're like, there's no fizzling out. I don't know if this person's sexist or maybe this person believes that, oh, well, once I got a ring on it, once we have this commitment, once you do this and this, it's over, instead of being like, you have to actively nurture the relationship. And maybe, they are judging you a little bit for that. There might be a little bit of like, oh, well, she or he is not actually that independent. They used me for blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? There's just a lot of, limiting beliefs in your connection that's I think blocked this connection from the get-go, because I feel like maybe you were truthful and honest on sharing certain things, and then this person kind of worked around that and avoided it. So yeah. All right, anyways, we're gonna see what other cards you got. We have I'm afraid to say the wrong thing. Yeah, there's a lot about talking here. So it's almost like, again, I keep hearing like the devil's in the details. So this person's definitely like, what should I say to fix this? When really they can't come up with an answer because the truth is what the problem was. And your connection. You know what I mean? Like if this person was draining your energy from the get-go, there's really not much to add. And maybe you didn't say that directly out loud, but like this person's feeling like, oh, well, I just can't talk to this person anymore because if I say anything or do anything, they're gonna hold it against me, which I'm like, yeah, but there's also a certain point where you're accountable for what you're telling and promising people. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's a little bit of like deflection and lack of accountability on this person's end. And they like, I don't know if this person maybe ghosted you and then came back expecting like, hey, we can just start up where we left off. And this person's like, no thanks, I don't want to do that anymore. And they're like, oh my gosh. And then they think, it was some kind of a conversation thing instead of just reading between the lines. I really don't feel like this person gets you, pile number one. So I don't feel like this is, I don't know, there's just something about the truth here that your truth got misunderstood, and I don't think this person's capable of receiving it that well. Even if you talk to them. How do I approach you after all this time? Yeah, I don't know how much time has passed, but I feel like this person definitely, like, thinks about what they would do if they approached you, what they would say, but they'd still clam up. Even if you did walk up to them and try to talk to them, I just get the vibe of they're trying to avoid you and run away, but, like, they're thinking about how they would approach this. What would they say to you if they were put on blast on social media or if they had to confront their past, how they would protect themselves. Yeah, this is a lot of just being on the defense and not actually saying, oh, did I actually hurt this person? Did I do something wrong? I think this person understands that you were hurt by something they did. However, they're not going to make any changes to their behavior anytime soon because they don't view their behavior as problematic. Again, due to these limiting beliefs or just saying, well, this is how things are, and because that's how things are for me and they benefit me that way, then I don't need to change for you. No? And you're just like, okay, that's fine. I respect your opinion. And then they just go like, oh, did I say the wrong thing? And it's like, no, this thing right here, that's already what you said, so I listened to it and I'm acting accordingly. All right, let's get into the hidden feelings. So you might already have an idea of how this person feels, but let's go ahead and see what the cards say. Peaceful, calm, serene, centered. Okay. Inspired, moved, stimulated, challenged. Confused, disoriented, bewildered, puzzled. Yeah, so despite all the projecting and everything, this person's kind of at peace with the connection right now, simply because even though, yes, they do think about all of these other things, they're not losing sleep overnight over it, I mean, yeah, they do fantasize about, like, getting resolution or whatever, but they're kind of taking a time out, You know, I think there was something about in your connection, there was always maybe a power struggle, power grab, or maybe there was like a hidden tension between the two of you. So now that you're gone, they don't have to face these uncomfortable limiting beliefs, you know, which, I mean, okay, that's just lack of accountability, you know? And if you're at peace because you don't want to face your demons, then whatever. On to the next thing, you know? With Inspired, I don't know if maybe this person, again, maybe you guys shared creativity, or maybe there was like something going on in the background or a project, and like I feel like, again, with music, maybe this person writes music or books or does something in their free time, maybe even in secret, you know? And so I could see them like definitely writing a piece that's like helping them resolve their, like creating a conclusion to their side of the story, you know, so that way they can speak out about what happened, you know, and their truth and their version of events. But like, again, I see them kind of like thinking about just escaping with you, you know. It kind of goes back and forth where it's like, again, they care and they escape, like their version of escapism when it comes to you is thinking about like, well, let's just go back to the good times, you know what I mean? Let's focus on like just having fun, you know, where I wasn't being held accountable for my actions. And then Confused, yeah, they're hiding their confusion because to them they're always right, or they're always one step ahead of you, they think. And I don't know, I get this vibe that this person feels like it just feels more like entitlement than superiority complex, but it definitely feels like they wanted to have constant access to you, and they don't understand why you just let things go so easily. I think the fact that you didn't fight more for the connection, they're kind of like, whoa, you know. So I think they're trying to not feel triggered by that. I don't know, not gonna lie, I think this person's current energy is more calm and peaceful, and then down the line they're gonna realize what they did when it happens with someone else that is able to expose the truth more clearly to them, you know? So it's like, I don't know if they need to date somebody and lose that person or whatever, but something's gonna be clear to them at a later time, you know, but that's not gonna be your worry or problem. Anyways, though, thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you like this reading, please like, subscribe, comment down below what your thoughts and feelings were. And consider booking me for a reading. I've got links in the description down below, or check out my blog where we talk about mental health and spirituality. I will see you all next time. Take care, bye. Hello everyone, you have chosen pile number 2. And these are going to be your messages on what is this person's hidden thoughts and feelings towards you. So it was kind of wild because while I was pulling your cards, you know, I was doing my little cleanse and I was connecting to your spirit guides and all that stuff. And I was immediately feeling off the bat like, this person shouldn't be reading tarot cards. Or like, this person, I don't know if this person's very religious, but something they are hiding from you is they really don't feel in alignment with your spiritual beliefs. Maybe they're quietly judging you. Maybe there's somebody that just feels like, oh, this is evil. You know, tarot reading is going to corrupt your mind. You know, having access to spirit guides and angels and all that stuff. I just feel like this person is definitely, maybe not, I wouldn't say conservative, but this feels definitely more of a energy that's not in alignment with more like new age spirituality, progressive stuff, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because like this pile in particular has a Bible verse, right? Like, let all that you do be done in love, right? And so to me, I'm like, I don't care if someone's a Christian and you're watching me or whatever, but like this person definitely gives me the energy of backhanded, like secretly resenting your spiritual abilities and powers and gifts and judging you for them, especially being highly public about them as well. But anyways, though, let's go ahead and get into the situation just to do a little bit of a vibe check to make sure that this is your pile. Yeah. Sorry, I kind of talked that way off into a cliff. Alright, so we've got King of Swords in reverse, Four of Wands in reverse, and Six of Swords in reverse. Okay. So, This also feels like a person that you had to move away from, either because of, again, spiritual beliefs, political beliefs, or there's just something about you that you had to move in a different direction. Life was just guiding you towards a higher vibration, something that's more in alignment towards your truth. But I feel like with all these swords in this person's boat, it just feels like this energy of loss. So maybe you lost connections with people, people lost respect, there's a lot of burdens you brought with you that you haven't been able to be released from, or maybe just a bunch of people just stuck their daggers in your boat and you haven't released them yet. I don't know, there just feels like a lot of judgment and shame and grief. Again, so like maybe you had to walk away publicly from somebody or a group of people. I could definitely see you guys like maybe leaving a church behind, maybe leaving an ideology, a group, a party. I don't know why D&D just came into my head. I don't know, but there's just a lot of, like, I'm hearing, like, dungeon master, dungeon crawl. Yeah, like, it just feels like you've been in this, like, little rat race of constantly trying to find, like, when's the next monster or battle I gotta fight? You know, who's the next person that's gonna betray me? Aw, pal too. Send you hugs and love. Yeah, just being judged for your belief system, you know? I get the vibe that you are a person that every time you think you're in alignment with somebody, it's always a battle, you know, and you sit there and you think to yourself, why is somebody that claims to be in alignment with love talking to me in such harsh ways, or why are they not in agreement with me on this, you know? And there just also feels like some judgment, you know, on your part, because you're like, at what point are people just going to sit back and just let me talk, you know? Why can't I have space for me? We have 4 of Wands in reverse, so to me, there's kind of an energy of you needed to let this person go so you could be free. Yeah, this just feels like more confirmation, because it's like I almost see you literally being like, people being like, oh my gosh, we're gonna kick you out of the house if you're queer, or like, we're not gonna let that kind of stuff go on in your house, and you, pile number 2, basically said, okay, bye. Okay, bye. I don't need that. Or even if it isn't about politics or ideology, it also just feels like this person, if it was like a romantic partner, maybe you guys weren't aware of how politics really was integrated in this person's life, and so maybe you were sitting there thinking like, oh yeah, no, we're fine or whatever, but then like slowly over time they got radicalized, or maybe they were just draining the life out of you, so you literally had to just leave just to breathe again, you know, let color back into your life, you know. Yeah, I literally see you kind of like running out of this castle being like, I'm free, and everyone else being like, oh my gosh, like everyone wants to be stuck in the castle with me, and you're like, nope, not at all. Finally, King of Swords in reverse. This definitely feels like a distorted masculine energy where logic and reason is put over and valued over emotions. So I definitely feel like whoever this person is, they were not careful with the way they handled you. I'm seeing all these evil eyes here where they were just throwing a lot of nasty energy your way, you know, without any regard for how you felt about things, you know, because they don't care about their own thoughts and feelings. So they're not going to be able to do the same for you, you know? Yeah, there's something I need to say about that 4 of Wands, too. Yeah, I just feel like the situation you were in with this person where they just made you feel stuck, you know, and alone, and maybe even a little afraid at times, you know, because like King of Swords energy, like that, I mean, that guy's got a sword. You know, this person knows how to cut people down, and you were definitely walking on eggshells around this person. Or, again, their belief system. So it's like, even if this person didn't have that belief system, the people around them do. And so you're like, okay, maybe I can spend time with you, but, like, your friends? That's a little harmful for me, and it's a red flag to me that you're sticking around people that are okay with that. I'm also hearing the word burden, too, so I felt like this person made you feel like you were a burden. Or they maybe didn't let that show, but you were definitely feeling that energy. So that's some confirmation for some of you. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the cards to see what they say. They really didn't like you. They talk so much shit about you behind your back, you'd be surprised. Like, you would be so surprised at how much shit talking they do about you. It's not even funny. Man, Christian my butt. I don't even think this person knows what a Christian is, to be honest. I think they can recite Bible verses, but they literally have no idea what they mean because they don't even talk like that around their peers, right? Like, there's just something about the way they use it. Just feels more like what is it, idolatry or whatever, where they're idolizing a religion that they don't actually understand. Because to me, it's like, when you're talking about love and peace and whatnot, this person, again, they don't have to even be Christian, but there's just something about this background of talking like they just don't know what they're talking about. They don't even know what they're actually saying, okay? And they don't realize what they're actually doing is spewing a bunch of bullshit and hate. Your love just does something to me. You don't know how bad it hurts me to see you with somebody else. Ooh, they jealous. They jealous. I am so sorry for the way I treated you. And we will be together when the time is right. Trust in divine timing. Yeah. Okay, so some of the thoughts and feelings this person secretly has towards you is they don't know how bad that they hurt you. Like, I can't even get the words out because they are just seeing you running away. And over time, what they're going to notice is if they get ever access to you, they're going to see how happy you are and the night and day difference of who you were. And immediately they're going to blame you that this was all being withheld from them and whatever. Like, there's no accountability here, And there's something about, like, them being like, well, you don't know how bad it is for me. You know what I mean? But it's going to be very clear to them, or it's going to be made clear to them that, like, you can't use spirituality and spiritual beliefs that you say that don't align with your actions. You know what I mean? And so when it's with somebody else, like maybe you left and maybe you're dating someone that's more in alignment with you, with your truth, and seeing you with somebody else hurts them big time. Maybe it's like friendships, maybe it's, again, I feel like romantic partnerships, this person's hella jealous if you're dating somebody. Even if, like, for example, this is like a toxic friend or something, or former friend, I do feel like this person maybe was your friend at one point in time, but then when you did something in particular that exposed like a truth, they immediately cut you off out of being friends, and so now it's like it was a frenemy vibe for a while. So then when they see you hanging out with other people, they automatically get jealous and immediately talk shit about it. You know what I mean? To anybody that's going to listen, because they let you go. Right? But they didn't tell you, but they stuck around. And so then now that they're talking shit and talking badly, they don't want to let you go because then they lose their ability to get information and tea on you. With your love just does something to me. There's something about they get triggered by the way you talk about certain things and topics. Right? So for example, maybe you're like, hey, this actually really wasn't okay, when you said or did this. Or maybe you are very passionate about something. Like, so one of my passions is men's mental health and suicide awareness, right? So I talk about that a lot on, my YouTube channel, my advocacy work and all that stuff. And I could definitely see this person in this scenario, say you have a passion about something. Maybe you're really passionate about, like, climate change or animals or, supporting artists or something, whatever it may be. And you be talking about it and immediately this person's jealous, but they don't realize that they're jealous. Instead, they're like, this person's so full of it. Like, they're so full of themselves. And there's something about, like, people that like this person are gullible because they don't see what this person's actually like. You know what I mean? This person actually doesn't care behind closed doors. Meanwhile, you're sitting there trying to do your best to, like, educate people. You're being perfectly honest about your accomplishments and achievements. This person puts anything you put out there down and immediately ties it back to your personal truths that you shared with them. You know what I mean? I don't know. This person, like, with love, I think they've just had a really bad relationship with love in their lifetime. And I just don't think they understand the double standard they're holding you to. I am so sorry for the way I treated you. Yeah, I think one of their secret thoughts and feelings is secretly they are sorry. you know, I do think that they feel bad about judging you, especially when the truth comes out, you know, when it turns out you're not full of shit, or when they see you actually thriving with other people and realizing that they were the ones holding you back. They're gonna regret how they treated you. And I think they still feel that now, but they're not really working on themselves. I think it's hard for them to admit that your friendship wasn't all that, you know, and that you were who you said you were, you know? I don't know, it just feels like very insecure. We will be together when the time is right. Just trust in divine timing. Yeah, another thing that they're secretly thinking or hiding from you is they just think that at some point you're going to come back around. Simply because since you are truly a loving person, they're like, oh, well, this person's coming back for me. They're going to forgive me. No, no, no. There's no way that this person doesn't want to be around me. They need me, right? Because they're wrong and I'm the truth, right? And so when you see that this person is actually thriving, or sees you, pal, too, that you are thriving with another person than what they wanted for you, or again with divine timing, this person throws around a lot of spiritual terms, but they really don't understand what that means. You know what I mean? Because like divine timing is divine timing. But it's not just like you have control, or like there's like a punishment element to it. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, well, you didn't get what you wanted because you were bad. You know, like that's very like rigid and shame oriented. And I feel like that's tied to their religious traumas and past, but like with you guys, again, they genuinely feel like they're being punished when you're not in their life, allowing them to do whatever they want, you know? And maybe for some of you, you'll heal, but not until this person fundamentally changes, you know? Because I definitely feel like there's just this hidden dagger waiting for when you come back to just, you know, bring you in closer so they can then stab you. Or even just like they just always have a dagger behind their back because they're like, okay, if you try to pull this against me, I'm going to pull out the dagger, and then you don't. And you don't engage with that sort of stuff, then immediately they're just like, ugh. And then that proves that they're the one with egg on their face, you know? And apparently to everybody else too, because it'll be very clear when you're talking shit about somebody that is actively doing work and doing things and saying their truth and meaning it and following through, this person's going to be really excommunicated for that. Especially when they spilled like, we're spreading lies about you and rumors. It's like, oh no, God forbid somebody has a traumatic past and did something with it instead of cry and bitch. I'm drafting up what to say. Yeah, so I do feel like this person either journals or writes about what they would say to you. I think that they're always constantly in their head thinking about, well, like, what kind of comeback? You know, like, how do I protect myself? This is same defensive energy from pile number one, where it's literally just being like, okay, like, I am in charge of my thoughts and emotions, and like trying to think of like all their thoughts and feelings and getting them on paper so that way they can like see it and expose it to themselves. Will you wait for me? Yeah. This person's secretly thinking, well, first of all, about what to say, but I'm also seeing like in secret, they're trying to wish you'd come back. You know what I mean? Like, they're literally sitting there being like, okay, well, maybe this person left because I didn't have the right amount of money. You know what I mean? Or maybe they're just waiting for things to be stable, you know? And so, like, I think that's where it's like a catch-22 with this person, because on the one hand, they do care about you, but it feels like the care is more secret than the anger. You know what I mean? And there's a bit of a heartbreak with this, because like the will you wait for me, it's kind of like that helpless puppy where it's suddenly like, oh, you actually did let me go. I guess we weren't best friends. You know what I mean? Like there's just kind of like a split or like a cognitive dissonance with this person. And then I feel stuck. Yeah, they are hiding how stuck they feel on how to approach you, how to get out of this situation. Again, it's because they are operating on a programming that you either did the work to move out of or move away from, or it's not compatible, you know, and this person genuinely doesn't understand that. Yeah, I'm also seeing like 16 and 14, so I don't know if there's like maybe an age difference or if those numbers are significant, but 1 Corinthians, yeah, it's kind of like the difference between people who went to Sunday school because their parents told them to, and the people that went to Sunday school because they actually enjoyed what they were doing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you can't just recite Bible verses. You actually have to like live by them to follow that religion. You know what I mean? And I think maybe this person might actually be going back and checking out the Bible, you know, and maybe actually processing those things. Which that's a good thing, I guess, because to me it's like, well, if you're actually trying to get spiritual and connect with divine guidance and love, great, perfect for you. But like with this divine timing, you know, I do feel like this person's secretly feeling like this person has to know how I feel, or this person has to know, you know? Which means they're gonna come back, which I'm like, that's your call, pal, too. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the feelings now. We have compassionate, empathetic, caring, sympathetic, envious, jealous, suspicious, possessive, worried, concerned, troubled, uneasy, and respectful. Differential, courteous, admiring. Okay, yeah, no, I agree with all this. So what they're secretly feeling is they do have compassion for you. So basically, if you shared something about your past with them, right? They are secretly, even if they are going around talking shit or whatever, they do care about you. They do feel like you've been through a lot. They do have compassion and they do want to... It's almost like they want to remove some of the burdens off of your life, because they, despite all of their cognitive dissonance and double standards, like, they still don't believe that humans should be treated poorly. You know, like, there are things that they do cling to, like humanistic values, and maybe that's something that they feel like you've been harsh on them, because that, I think they just assume that you see that side of them, and they think that because maybe they like either got you a gift or they remembered your birthday, that that's like the same equivalency. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, take what resonates, because everybody's situation's different. Because again, if this is like politics and whatnot, like, everybody has their own different reasons for why they do something the way that they do and make these choices. However, this person is more so keeping things surface level and not seeing the whole picture. With envious, once again, they're feeling jealous because they feel shut out and in the cold. And they're not going to show you that for sure, because they don't want you to think that you have control over them. And, like, they just don't want to be in the background in your life anymore, you know? And so they're just anxiously waiting, like, okay, when am I going to get that phone call? When am I going to see or hear from them? We have worried. Yeah, so same with, like, compassionate. I do feel like this person secretly worries that you're not going in the right direction, maybe that you're not taking care of yourself, and that might also be agitating their belief systems, right? Because to them, they feel like, especially if you were raised in a more evangelical Christian background, for example, maybe this person is sitting there thinking like, okay, like, you need Jesus, you know what I mean? You need help. I'm watching you go through these different things, and if you had a church or a community, then you'd be okay. You know what I mean? If you didn't do this and this, then, I don't know, maybe this person thinks they're judging you and thinking you're doing hard drugs. You know, and that's why you're behaving this way. Yeah, there's just like a lot of like not understanding, but it's coming from a place of, again, they care. And then with respectful, I do feel like despite the feelings and the emotions and judgment, they do respect you, right? That's why they're not going to come at you directly, right? Because they know that not only do you not take any shit, but they also understand that, like, you are still trying to be a good person. I think they hide that secretly close to their heart, because they know that, hey, you know, for all their flaws, they did come through for me on this. They did do this, this, and this. You know what I mean? And if anything, that's what makes them worried, is they're like, oh, well, we lost another one. You know what I mean? Because, like, maybe, again, maybe you were like this person, grew up with this person, and then when you left away, they're like, oh no, this person's being pulled away or pulled astray by demons or devils or whatever, just due to their ideology and lack of understanding of your journey, you know? But yeah, at least that respect is there. So I just think it's secret and hidden because it just feels more cultural to be like, that person's the enemy, shun. But in private, they are in awe of the things you accomplish all the time. And I do think this person checks in on you every once in a while just to be like, hey, how's this person doing? I want to see what they're up to. And they're going to get blown away on how much you've changed. And maybe they'll hate those changes, but I think this person still shows up, though, because they do care. And there is some kind of a love going on here. So, but that jealousy, though, just watch out for that bitterness. You know, everybody's person's going to be a little different, but especially seeing you with a partner, oh my gosh. When they see all the changes you go under and then seeing who you end up with, they're going to pop off. Ooh. Yeah, they're going to be like, why did you end up with the hottie? And it's like, well, I did the work. Anyways, though, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if this resonated with you. And if you're interested in getting a reading from me, links are in the description down below. And check out my blog if you're interested in learning more about spiritual topics, mental health, and so on. I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Oh my gosh. Hello everyone, you have chosen pile number 3, and these are going to be your messages on your person's hidden thoughts and feelings about you. So I don't know if your person's autistic or what's going on with your person, but I feel like you guys have really struggled to figure out what this person thinks and feels about you. Like, I'm seeing you guys getting tarot readings, multiple, trying to figure out, like, what the heck does this guy think? Because I feel like it's a guy. But if it's a girl, you know, same thing. I feel like this person just, you do not understand the ways that they work. And I kept hearing, like, Mr. Roboto by Styx in my head. Like, definitely, like, robot, like, doot, 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 doot. Definitely disconnected from emotions. Or just emotionally unavailable. I don't know, but we're going to go ahead and do a vibe check to see what is the situation going on between you and this person, and then we're going to get their thoughts and feelings about you. I feel like opinions is more accurate than their thoughts. All right, this one's be upright, upright, upright. Okay, cool. First upright pile so far. Yeah, so you got the Nine of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and Temperance. So this tells me that I feel like you're looking for this person's approval, okay? Because I don't know if this person has more money than you, or this person's like being very proactive. I see this person like definitely working, but I feel like you're working and building yourself, and you're trying to determine, is this like a life partner? Is this someone who I wanna, yeah, I feel like, is this someone I want to spend the rest of my life with, or is this someone I want to invest money in, or time and energy? I do feel like appearances matter, either to both of you, or there's something about like you kind of. I feel like this is more about you guys, pile number 3, where like you're just trying to go with the flow and you're trying to be all extra feminine and cute. Like we've got the bird, we've got all the pinks and stuff, and this person is not following the status quo, or this person's not following the scripts that you were taught that men do, or for example, you're only used to men that are toxic or unavailable, so then you found this guy and you're sitting there going, this isn't registering, you know what I mean? Or you feel like there's supposed to be more going on or more happening with this person when it's not. With the Knight of Wands, I do feel like you're a little bit more ambitious, a little, you have more fire, you're a little bit more like, hey, let's get this going. You know what I mean? Maybe you've got some leadership qualities that you haven't really explored, or maybe you're aware of it. But I do feel like you're not fully capitalizing on your own power and truth, and you're really putting the ball in this person's court, right? When I don't think this person fully understands you yet. With the Temperance card, I am seeing you trying to balance your emotions between your head and your heart. And between the two of you, I just feel like there is some kind of an imbalance love-wise, and that's probably why you're here for this reading. You know, you're trying to figure out, like, what the heck? You know, like, do I charge forward, or do I gotta go over and, like, knock on his door and say, like, call me, dang it? You know, even if you're not doing this behavior, energetically you're doing it. You're just like, why hasn't he called me? Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he buy flowers? Blah, blah, blah. Does he even care? Yeah. You're following a social script, though, pile number 3. Just keep that in mind, okay? Yeah, just go chill out with the birds for a little bit and do it for you, not because you're trying to perform femininity for this person. Because there's something that there's a performance you're trying to do to get this person to notice you, and it's not working. Or at least it doesn't feel like it's working on your side. Anywho, let's go ahead and get into the cards. Oh my gosh, I feel like you've misread this person off the bat, because I feel like you are trying to go for a traditional relationship with someone that is either non-binary or does not fit into social norms. Okay, but you weren't able to identify that. And maybe this person again is maybe concealing that from you. But I think you're misinterpreting their signals by a long shot. Okay, let's go ahead and get hidden messages. We've got, I don't think I can do this anymore. It's just too much to deal with. Yeah, so this person feels like they're anxious around you because they are feeling overwhelmed and pressured. So if you're trying to be like texting this person constantly or asking them to send you flowers and all this stuff, this person's already feeling overwhelmed. They're like, I'm getting the vibe that they either feel like they barely know you, or they don't feel like they've actually connected with you on a level to do those things for you. Simply because they're just like, they feel like they're busy. They feel like their emotions are drained in this connection. They're not really receiving too much in return in your connection. Again, don't shoot the messengers. This is how they're feeling. You're the only one I want to be with. We've got, I miss you so much. You got away with me. And I love to read all your old messages you sent me. They make me smile. Yeah, so I take it back. I just feel like this person, like, they have a lot of emotions and feelings and thoughts, but they don't know how to take them into action, make them plans. So for example, like, I don't see this person when they come home from work fantasizing about how they're going to romance you. right? Like, I don't see this person being like, all right, I want to take this person on a date to this fancy restaurant or whatever. Like, fancy restaurant, maybe. They might think of that, but that's not how they spend their time. And I think you're not understanding that this person, when they care about a person, they're more so forward thinking. They're like, okay, I want to figure out how do I make enough money to make sure my family can retire, right? How do I fund my kids' education, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where this person's mindset is at. So when you're sitting there being like, this person didn't do all this cute stuff, or my friend's boyfriend did this and blah, 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 this person's like, I don't have time for that because I'm trying to make sure that we have a future that's stable. You know what I mean? Or they're trying to focus on getting themselves stable. Or maybe there's something that is going on in the background in their lives that they're like, hey, I have to handle this. And so to me, it feels like they're being responsible, but they are not showing up in an emotionally vulnerable way for you to understand that. Now, I do feel like this person puts on a performance of masculinity, simply because they want you to feel comfortable and feel like they want you to feel like they're accomplished, that they can handle things, that they can do blah, 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 blah. So while you're sitting there thinking like, oh, I'm not feminine enough, I'm not getting his attention, that's not true at all. This person is just overwhelmed and overloaded with life, right? And this person only has so much capacity to expend on you when they're trying to manage a bunch of other things. I could definitely feel like this person might have a lot of family that they're also taking care of. So not only are they taking care of their extended family, right? So maybe they take care of a parent, or maybe they're taking care of a sibling. But like, they've got other people on their plate that they're also taking care of. So then throwing you in the mix, and then you expecting them to make you priority when it feels like there's a level, like, I feel like this person's waiting for your situation to level up, or you to show them something that you are more, that you're not like fantasizing and romanticizing them. That I feel like this person wants more proof that you're practical and that you're not either using them for money or trying to take them away from what they're building in their own life. You know, I do feel like this person feels like family's important, or they have their own priorities. With the "you got away with me," for some reason it feels like when I'm reading that, yes, they like you, but there's also something about like this feeling like you're running away. You know what I mean? And that kind of triggers this person. So maybe you don't think you're running away, but there's something about the way you're going about trying to attract this person. It's not having the effect that you think it is. I love to read all your old messages you sent me. They make me smile. Yeah, I feel like this person does ruminate on them. I feel like this person prioritizes love in different ways and maybe has a different love language than you. So for example, maybe this person likes words of affirmation, right? So if you wrote them like a little poem, they're definitely going to print that out and put that on their cubicle or on their wall, right? And those things make them smile. But like, for example, if they're not smiling around you, that doesn't mean they're not having a good time. Yeah, I just definitely feel like this person just has a very different way of expressing their truth and emotions and whatnot. And again, if this is a masculine leaning person, they're not going to wear their emotions on their sleeve. That's kind of how men and boys are taught, and that says nothing about you. You know what I mean? And I just feel like you haven't earned a place in their life yet to get them to open up in a certain kind of way. And maybe they never will, you know? I feel like you have to kind of accept this person's emotional barrier and boundaries at times, because that's just who they are. Yeah, and with like old too, I do feel like this person's maybe a little more old-fashioned. Maybe they don't like to text all the time. So maybe you're sitting there thinking, oh, why isn't this person texting me all the time? It's like, well, because this person's busy. You know, maybe this person doesn't like to be online very much. So that could be another issue too, is if you detach from being online a little bit, you might feel a little bit better if this person's not communicating as frequently as you'd prefer. You know, especially if this person's engaged with family. That's a great green flag, but you won't know it if you're only gauging off of their text responses. Let's go ahead and check out more cards. We've got Unblock Me, Please. Oh, did you get mad? You should be here. Oh, I got this bug. There were 2 bugs earlier while I was preparing your reading, so I don't know if that's a sign for somebody. But my biggest fear came true. Yeah, so maybe you walked away from something that wasn't good for you. Meanwhile, this person's thinking and feeling, I messed up, right? So this, only take what resonates, but for some of you guys that you maybe got upset and you just blocked this person or cut this person off, they're like, wait! You know, like they're sitting here trying to juggle and please everybody and get all their ducks in a row. Meanwhile, they're like, hey, you got a place and spot with me. What do you mean you think I don't care about you? Just because I haven't made a place for you yet doesn't mean that's not where you're headed, you know? And again, only take what resonates, because if this doesn't feel like your person, then you need to also be in alignment with this kind of truth, because a person that is going to take care of you is thinking about all these things. They are thinking that through. So if you just up and are only focused on the you should be here, but then you're blocking them, then what the heck do you expect to happen? You know? Like, you can't keep cutting people off and expecting them to chase after you. Like, I feel like this person's mature enough to be like, you're the only one I want to be with. You know? So let me do my thing, and then I'll let you know when I'm ready. You know? I don't know. I feel like maybe this person made assumptions that you were maybe a little bit more emotionally mature, or there's just kind of this energy of them being like, yeah, like they miss you. You know what I mean? Like my biggest fear came true is that you left. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just think you didn't read this person right at all. Yeah, I don't think I can do this anymore. It's just too much to deal with. Yeah, it just kind of feels like they're just like, I'm tired. I'm tired of being misunderstood. You know, do I have to say something? And I'd be like, yeah, you should have said something a while ago, but, you know, be open. If this person reaches out, be open to it. You know, if you care that much and you want to see if you're compatible, you gotta give them an inch to let them talk. We've got guilty, blameworthy, responsible, at fault. Disappointed, disillusioned, defeated, let down. Inspired, moved, stimulated, challenged. Bored, uninterested, apathetic, jaded. And depressed, empty, numb, withdrawn. Alright, so some of the feelings and thoughts they're hiding from you is that they're getting bored in your connection. You know what I mean? I think they're, you know, disappointed with the way things are going. But at the same time, you also inspire them. You know, like, again, I feel like this person feels like it should be obvious how they feel about you when they're not saying anything, which that's on them. But with this bored, like, they're tired of, like, waiting and nothing happening. And they're just kind of being like, well, you said this, but I'm not seeing any action. I'm not seeing any resolution. You know what I mean? And so, like, they're also depressed about this connection, you know? I feel like they might be depressed in general, so maybe that's something that they're taking a time out to take care of their mental health while they resolve their life. With guilty, though, I do feel like they feel like they're to blame for the fact that either you blocked them or you walked away. I am seeing like they do take responsibility for that, maybe for not sharing the truth or whatever. But they are disappointed because they feel like you kind of got away from them while they were trying to juggle all these responsibilities and trying to make plans for you guys in the future, which is silly. That this person literally went and made all these plans assuming you were just going to be along for the ride. I don't know, I feel like they kind of created a slot, but they were kind of hoping it was going to be you. You know what I mean? Because I think this person's realistic and understanding that, like, hey, if you choose somebody else, okay. You know, you're the one that got away, but, like, yeah, secretly they're feeling inspired by you, like, challenged, I think, because you are a little bit more headstrong. You caused this person to be a little more nervous, but also stimulated at the same time. See, my leg just started bouncing. I was gonna say, I got my my drummer leg, my drummer's foot going, because it's almost like, because you got a little bit more fighting spirit, they're kind of like, okay, yeah, I don't know, so, like, guys like they like fighting with girls a little bit. It just depends on how you do it. But for example, if you called them out on something that they found out that you were right and they were wrong, that really turns men on. Okay? Because it challenges them and causes them to say, oh, actually, I was wrong in that belief system. Okay, I'm going to go work on that. But they're not going to tell you. But that's exactly what this person's kind of doing, is they're kind of using this connection to like light a fire under their butt to kind of get back and going. And so like I feel though with this bored energy, they feel like time's running out between the two of you, because like the longer you stay away, the more they're depressed and being like, okay, maybe I did get this wrong. Maybe I wasn't manifesting this right. I don't know. Maybe this person's also secretly spiritual. I don't know. I'm seeing like a manifestation candle. And I was like, did this grown man seriously buy a manifestation candle? Praying to the moon or whatever? Yeah, I just keep hearing like, you got me all wrong. You know? And they're just kind of disappointed because they feel like you got away from them. Yeah, I just see like that depressed energy just being like, that depression's kind of blocking some of their inspiration right now, because they're just kind of like, okay, I guess I thought this was going to go a different way, you know? I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, y'all, that was your reading. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if this resonated with you. If you would like a personal reading about your person, links are in the description down below. And check out my blog where you can see articles about mental health, spirituality, and all that cool stuff. I will see you all next time. Take care. Hello, everyone. You have chosen pile number 4. And these are going to be your messages on hidden thoughts and feelings from your person. I'm sorry. So if any of y'all recognize the sticker, it's a quote from Supernatural. When Castiel has like this Molotov cocktail and he just goes, "Hey, ass butt," and he like throws it at this demon. I'm just already gonna tell you off the bat, whoever your person is, there's just so much fire and chemistry between you two, it's not even funny. Yeah, that's all I'm seeing is just whoever you're asking a question about, I just see them literally being like, oh my god, and like throwing a Molotov cocktail at your window. So if you don't know how this person thinks and feels about you, the only assumption I can be is you have literally just not either asked this person out yet, you've not talked to them, you've done nothing. That is the only thought I can think of. Because I don't know how you could not know how this person thinks and feels about you. I'm just saying. But okay, let's go ahead and we're going to go over the situation to confirm that this is your message. Only take what resonates. If it doesn't resonate, this might not be the pile for you or the reading for you. Okay. Oh, you want to be upright? Ooh, there was a rejection. I don't know if maybe somebody turned the other person down. That's kind of what it feels like. Oh my gosh, because like with this Knight of Pentacles, this person with the mustache, I mean, like, look at that face. Someone got caught with their pants down. I don't know, I feel like there's like a fake mustache, so maybe this person was faking something with you. Maybe their thoughts, their belief systems, but I feel like something either explosive happened between the two of you, there was a fight, and I'm seeing like with this horse, like all of the eyeballs, it's literally like maybe there's all eyes on you, or like everyone's just kind of going, oh god, that's super cringy, or I can't believe that just happened. Knight of Pentacles energy, that's usually pretty stable, pretty consistent. I'm hearing the word strategy, and all of that just went out the window between the two of you. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe someone likes to dress in weird clothes. I don't know, someone's wearing a disguise. You know what I mean? I feel like somebody's hiding something or they're faking something, and maybe you said or did something that really exposed that person to who they are. and that caused a conflict between the two of you, or maybe just someone's trying to like secretly hide their feelings or a crush or something. I don't even know. We've got the Eight of Wands. I feel like maybe you're hiding a crush on someone that you secretly hate, or there's just like a I'm hearing like dude looks like a lady. I think it's Aerosmith. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's some gender stuff going on here. Non-conforming things. Yeah, Eight of Wands in reverse. I feel like somebody in the connection's treading carefully around the other person. I feel like there's a little bit of like an obstacle course. Like it feels like there's no way through on this connection right now. Everything is at a stalemate, a standstill. Hopes, prayers, but I'm seeing all these stars, you know what I mean? So it's almost like there's just a lot of waiting and divine guidance. Things changing and moving, but the pathway forward right now feels pretty blocked between the two of you. And again, with this ass butt, it just kind of feels like someone is going like, angry, and the other person's like cowering with fear. Page of Cups, though, I do feel like there's like a cute little energy. Maybe a cute little divine intervention fairy, I'm kind of hearing. Something with that fish, too. I don't know. I'm seeing like a pirate. Yeah. I don't know. There's kind of like a soft lightness, though, that's still between the two of you. Maybe that's a secret, though. I can't tell. Are you guys very secretive people? It's like you guys can read each other very well, but everyone else can't. So everyone's like getting in the way or doing whatever, and then you guys are just like hands off this obstacle course, but no one else is reading you guys right, so then it just turns into even more of a conflict as people skew your beliefs and stuff about each other. That's so funny. Anyways, sounds like you guys are going through quite the situation with your person. Pile number 4, I was about to say ass butt. Maybe you're the ass butt, I don't know. Okay, but anyways, let's get into the cards. So what was interesting about like the hidden thoughts and feelings you guys got out of any of the other piles, tarot cards? Because originally I wanted just the tarot to be like the situation, and then the feelings are these cards. So for some reason it was very loudly, no, we're doing tarot. So I'm going to start with the words and the feelings, okay? So we've got, I wish I could be there for you. Aww. So this person's secretly hiding their feelings or their truth that they want to be supporting you at this time. Like they don't want these obstacles or to go through this obstacle course to get to you. I don't know, I feel like this person's a secret romantic. Like this person, I can definitely see them like declaring their love for you in front of a crowd of people or on a balcony or whatever, inviting a whole army of people, and even if one person shows up, they're gonna be like, yay, it's been you! Like, oh my god, that's so funny. Like, literally, I see this person being like, I'm gonna throw a giant party, and this person has to show up, and then you don't show up, and then they're in a shitty mood for the rest of the party, and everyone else is like, what the fuck is going on? And they don't know it's about you, because they have no idea who you are. God. Oh, this is cute and disgusting at the same time. I nearly reread that. I wanna come see you. I read that in a different order. There are definitely some secret horny thoughts. Maybe not so secret, I don't know what y'all are into, but the I want to come see you, they're literally like, they are chomping at the bit to go find you, like wherever the heck you are. It's like the moment the obstacle course is cleared, it's like I just see this person taking off running. They're like, okay, I want to come see you, like, where are you right now? And you'd be like, oh, I'm here and just at home or whatever. And they're like, all right, I'm hanging up. I'm going to be at your place in 2 days. And you're like, what? And they're like, 2 days time. And you're like, weren't you over here? And they're like, don't worry about it. Like, there's like an immediately like, like this person wants to move very quickly with you. Or at least try to see you as much as they can because they're missing you. ass butt. I've been trying to connect with you telepathically. Oh my god, did this person take spiritual lessons to try to learn telepathy? Just so they made sure they were connecting with you right? Oh my god. I don't know. There's just something about, like, I just see, like, twins. You know what I mean? When you have, like, two people that are really, really close, or twins in a room, and they're sitting there talking, and everyone's like, all right, shut up, you two. So then they stop talking, but then you know they're secretly, quietly communicating with just, like, a look, or, like, a little touch, or whatever. Like, this person is, like, I don't know, I'm definitely getting, like, soulmate energy, or, like, again, that telepathic, like, they feel like you are very telepathically in tune, right? And so sometimes they're like, oh man, if I think too hard, is she or he gonna hear me? You know? It's so funny. I know I fucked up, please forgive me. Yeah. Yeah. Aw. Oh, that just hurt my heart. This person's, like, so, like, they're craving your forgiveness so bad. Like, this person's gonna be on their knees begging you to come back. You know what I mean? Like, there's, like, just a strong, overwhelming feeling that they really want your forgiveness for whatever conflict is keeping you guys apart. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's not even just about that, it's about all this other stuff in their life. You know, I feel like this person messed up with a bunch of people. Maybe they were pretty harsh towards you. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So they are more predominantly focused on, like, yeah, they made mistakes in their life and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But specifically between the two of you, they feel like they were very harsh towards you. The ways that you responded to them weren't accurate, they feel, and so they reacted in a certain kind of way, and now they're backpedaling and they're trying. Yeah, this person's energy, like, they're just so emotional towards you. I think because they couldn't handle the thought of you projecting something onto them, viewing them in a certain kind of way. I just feel like they just feel like they just made a mistake, and they just want to apologize and try to win you over. That's all I'm feeling. You know, meanwhile, you're sitting here, like, this Page of Cups being like, a fish. You know, but yeah, definitely there's been tears and crying, and I heard engagement. I don't know what this crazy person's willing to do, but I'm just like, whoa. Let me start over with you. So their hidden thoughts and feelings are, yeah, this person wants to make up. Oh man, they want it bad. Like, this is kind of being like, okay. Like, I know we had this big fight and all this stuff, but, like, they're chomping at the bit to be like, we gotta start over. No, we are not letting this go. You're giving me a chance, dang it. Yeah, it's almost like in their brain, there is no alternative. Like, to them, they're literally like, I physically can't go without my best friend. Like, I won't do it. I won't continue to harm myself by denying how I feel, even if this person's an asshole towards me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, there's kind of just, like, this energy of, like, people gotta stop inserting their own opinions into this relationship, because I feel like there's been a lot of talking and not enough movement towards each other, and not enough clearing the air to actually figure out what boundaries and truth needs to come out. So they are in a headspace of, like, needing to prove their worth to you, but they feel like they have their back against the wall and the odds are against them. You know what I mean? But to them, they're pretty dead set on it's you or nobody at this point. Like, they're pretty much like, yeah, that's my person. Asshole. Aw. Okay, I'm hearing tarot first. Okay. Okay, so the cards you guys got were the Knight of... Nope, sorry. King of King of Wands in reverse. Oh my gosh, and Eight of Pentacles upright. Wow, my mouth cannot talk. I'm just going to take that as a sign that this person definitely is holding back on things they want to say. They're definitely maybe upset still. But what they're really hiding is they're working so hard on this connection. Like, I definitely see them, like, it was weird. I was, like, making merch, and I was like, why would they make merch about this situation? I don't know. There's just, like, this desperate plea to try to get your attention in a positive way. Or like they're trying to be like, all right, how do I figure out this? You know what I mean? So I see them like having like a drawing board and they're like, okay, I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna paint or color this until I come up with an idea, or like they're like brainstorming, but they're putting work in. And that's what's kind of hidden from you, I guess, is that they don't want you to know that they are trying. I don't know if they fantasize about it being a surprise, or they're kind of sitting there being like, all right, I know it's gonna work out. I just gotta put in the work, you know? Yeah, this person's really, like, enabled by your situation. Or situationship, I guess. I don't know. I feel like the situationship thing sailed a long time ago, but they're sitting there going like, nope. I am not going down without a fight. Yeah, and then with, like, King of Wands, all I keep hearing is like, this person wants you back, but like they don't know how to take action to move forward towards you. Yeah. I don't know. I see them trying to be like, they want to be your hero, but right now they feel like they're at odds with that. And so they're trying to like get their footing. You know, they're trying to how to manage maybe their anger towards not having you, or starting over, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe you kicked their crown off a little bit, and so now they're trying to get it back, and they want it secure this time. You know what I mean? Because, like, maybe you called them out on something that's legit, you know? And so now they're like, okay, gotta keep up the pace, you know? Yeah, I just keep hearing, like, I want to win her back. I want to win her back. And you're like, okay. All right, so now we're going to get into the feelings, which immediately I heard the word no, which I was like, why no? And they're like, we don't want you to know our feelings, but it's like, you do though. We've got irritated, annoyed, aggravated, bothered. Yeah, so these are their feelings that are hidden from you, that are maybe a secret, that they're pissed, you know, at the way you walked away or what you said to them. It made them cry. And it made them feel pretty shitty. That much is true. That's why they're calling you ass butt. Trust, reliant, interdependent, certain. So this person does trust the universe that you're going to come back together. Like, immediately. Like, this person, like, this is a divine connection. There is no way in hell this person's not coming back. Like, no way in hell. And they're very confident with those feelings. Stressed, tense, strained, under pressure. Yeah, this person is pressed about you and things not going their way. Yeah, and they will not show that to you. They will be peachy keen if you try to hang out with them, but deep down inside, no, they ain't okay. I could see this person drinking more too, as a way to try to calm their nerves, and they're like, no, I can't go back. I can't do more of what this person, pile number 4, thinks of me, you know, and then they're like, I gotta trust. And so then they get stressed out again, and then it's like this constant, like, battling their own, like, ADHD weird mind. And then lonely, isolated, alienated, friendless. Aww. Maybe your connection showed them that they don't have a lot of good friends around them. They don't really have people that tell them the truth about themselves. And when you're not around, they feel not as bright. I don't know. Maybe they were braver when you were around. But, yeah. yeah, I don't know. I just see them being like just not as energized after you left. You know what I mean? It's kind of being like, oh my gosh, my bestie's around. And then now it's like they just kind of want to cry because they know how they made you feel. And then on top of it, with their peers, they just feel like they don't fit in with them. Anyway, if anything, you highlighted that they need to try to trust in the universe more, trust in their intuition, and move into a better frequency. And try to be a bit more unique, you know? And stop trying to follow the crowd. Yeah. Aww. Okay, well, here, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a bonus round for your reading because I want to know what Spirit has in store for you. And then if you would like to know more, feel free to book a reading with me about your connection with your person. All right, Spirit, what does Pile 4 need to know about their connection with their person? Because I'm hearing it's going to be okay. You know, you just got to keep it moving. Just trust it's going to work itself out. And unclear your own blockages first. You know, as much as you can learn about this other person's situation, be careful to not lose sight of your goals, you know, and who you are. Because, yeah, you can get your cake and eat it too, but understand that you have to do the work in order to evolve, to grow, into making this connection work between the both of you, right? And it's about your heart space, not your head. Okay? You can't think through this. You got to feel through it. Oh. Aw. Okay, so we've got 5 of Pentacles in reverse and the 3 of Swords. We've got wherever you are, that's where my home is. Aw. And it's not over. Ooh. Man, you guys are going to come out so much better after this heartbreak. But there's going to be tears still. And with 5 of Pentacles, you know, that's talking about, like, you know, poverty, being left out in the cold. And I feel like you guys are missing the point of your journey together. You know, you're both focusing on what you guys are losing as a result of not having a connection as opposed to what you currently are gaining in your separation. You know what I mean? Because it's going to take a lot longer time to learn how to co-create with another person when you're stuck trying to do everything yourself, right? And with this 3 of Swords, a lot of that is due to heartbreak. I feel like you guys' hearts were shattered, or someone's heart was shattered in the process of this. And if there's no going back from that situation, then how do you plan on fixing it? You know? Because it's clearly not over. And somebody feels like they're your home. Or they want to be. And you get to decide if you want to be ass butt or not. You know, maybe this person's love isn't maybe it's a little crude. Maybe it's not necessarily the knight in shining armor you were asking for, but it seems like you guys are doing pretty fine. Or you were doing pretty well. Or could have. I don't know. There's like a mix of energies for everybody. But I feel like working through the heartbreak of this situation is really what's going to be necessary in order to move forward with any of it. You know? Just cry more. Talk about it with people. Let your truth out. And then whenever this person's ready to show up, they're going to show up. And you're going to be a new you. You know? So don't anticipate this person to stay the same either. Yeah, something with that 5 of Pentacles, though. You just gotta watch your back a little bit. You know, take care of yourself, your body, your mind. Like, there's other things in your life right now that need your attention more than this connection, but it's not over. Okay? So, don't cry too much over it. Keep going. You're doing great. Your spirit guide loves you. And, yeah. You're gonna be okay. Alright? Anyways, y'all, sending you guys a lot of love. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if this resonated with you. If you're interested in purchasing a reading, links in the description down below. And check out my blog where we talk about mental health and spirituality. I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye.